Winner Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia go next. Please like and subscribe. Help us hit 10,000 subscribers. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Champion. A big weekend of boxing. Tevin Farmer put on a good show. Good St. Patrick's Day show at the theater in Madison Square Garden. Lewis Closet gets another victory. But obviously the biggest fight of the week, the biggest fight of the year so far, Errol Spence dominates Mikey Garcia. We're going to spend the episode, this episode of Sunday Morning Champion, analyzing and breaking down that performance. Heck of a performance from Errol Spence. What does that say about Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia? We answer all that next. We picked Errol Spence to win by knockout, so we were right that Errol Spence won, and we were wrong about the knockout. Mikey proved tough. He proved resistant. He stood up, but he was completely outclassed, which was not what we were expecting. I thought, from a boxing perspective, from a boxing match, Mikey would stand his own. Mikey would win rounds. Mikey would win a jabbing contest. Mikey would be able to time him, but eventually Errol Spence would be too big and too strong and would break him down and knock him out in the mid-round. My official prediction was Errol Spence by 6th-round knockout. Mikey went the distance, but Mikey was beaten up pretty badly. The first 4 rounds, Errol Spence didn't win with size and strength. He won it with his jab and movement. Mikey couldn't hit him. And I don't think any of us thought that Spence was elusive like that. I mean, Spence was not there to be hit. It was a really good performance. Now look, and I know the haters are going to come out, and the haters are going to say, oh, but he couldn't knock out a lightweight. He couldn't knock out a lightweight. Let's revoke his boogeyman card. Look, I don't like the term boogeyman. I guess I would still pick Crawford to beat Spence. So I don't know what we mean by boogeyman. I know that Thurman and Porter don't want to fight him, but Pacquiao does. Crawford does. It's not like no one wants to fight him. No one's avoiding him. Not everyone's avoiding him. Obviously, Porter and Thurman are avoiding him. But, Danny Garcia said he would fight him. So I don't think that he's being avoided by everyone. He's being avoided by 2 guys who happen to be 2 of the bigger names in the division. I would still pick Crawford to beat him. I'm getting closer to 50-50 on that fight after Spence showed me all of that skill. But if I had a gun to my head, who wins that fight? I still think Bud takes a decision from him. But I'm getting closer. Let's go out and see what Bud looks like this weekend. And we'll roll from there. We'll make a decision. Not this weekend. Next month, I'm sorry. Let's see what he looks like against Khan next month. And we'll reassess. But, I mean, there's no reason to think that Crawford won't carry everything up at 47. He has so far. He's 2-0, 2 knockouts. If Jeff Horn is anything at all, Jeff Horn is a big, strong 47-pounder. And he didn't bully Crawford around the ring. When they clinched, Crawford pushed him backwards at times. Crawford walked him down at the end of the fight. So, look, Crawford's not small or not physically strong from 47. Is he a huge 47-pounder like Spence? And no, he's not. But he's fine. He's fine for the size. He carries his power. He's strong. So I would still pick Crawford to beat Spence. Let's not get caught up in that. I digress on that. But let's get back to the fight. Errol Spence put on a great performance. Not getting a knockout, let's put that aside. He won every minute of every round. I scored at 120 to 108. Errol Spence gave every single round to Errol Spence. You could argue that Mikey may have won a round or 2. But when you look at the punch stat numbers, Errol Spence outlanded him almost 5-1. Errol Spence landed 360 punches compared to the 70 by Mikey Garcia. Errol Spence got hit 70 times in that entire fight. That is a really, really good stat by Errol Spence. Derek James said that, they kept hearing about how smart Mikey is. So they wanted to give him something to think about and just keep the jab in his face. And it worked. worked perfectly. Mikey never got comfortable in that fight. He was at a range and uncomfortable in that entire fight. He had a couple moments with a right hand, a couple moments with a left hook, but I mean they were few and far between. Spence was dominant. He had no answers for anything that Spence could do. And we forget Errol Spence was an Olympian, right? So he's got to have world-class skills, and he showed that. He does. And keep in mind, how good was Kell Brook then, right? Because Spence just outboxed Mikey badly. And Kell Brook outboxed Errol Spence every round until the stoppage, until Spence finally broke him down. So when I say things like Kell Brook will come back and will get a title at 47, that's why. He's a master boxer. He was outboxing Errol Spence. Errol Spence outboxed Mikey Garcia badly. Now, I don't have anything bad at all to say about Spence's performance. I don't care that he didn't get the knockout. He dominated every minute of every round. Outboxed Mikey Garcia. Outmoved him. Outjabbed him. Hurt him to the body. Had great moments with the right hook. Fought great. Just didn't get the stoppage. And it happens. And they were close. Robert Garcia wanted to stop the fight. Mikey convinced them to let him go out there and continue. So, I mean, they could have got a stoppage. If it was up to Robert Garcia, but I guess it is up to Robert Garcia, but without Mikey's input, Robert Garcia would have stopped the fight, and Spence would have got the stoppage. So, I don't get, just like when I did the other episode last week or whatever on Luis Ortiz, or 2 weeks ago, Luis Ortiz not getting the stoppage, who cares, right? He dominated the fight, and that's what Spence did. I don't think we can question Spence's power. I don't think that's fair. So he just didn't get the knockout. He didn't get the stoppage. He did everything else he would have wanted. So where does he go from here, right? It looks like a Pacquiao fight next in Arlington, in Dallas, AT&T Stadium, which is an interesting fight. It really is. That's a good fight. I would pick Spence, but I think Pacquiao makes it fun. I really do. It's two southpaws. Pacquiao's going to have moments. Pacquiao's tough for anyone. I don't think he wins the fight, but I think he wins rounds. I think he makes it interesting. I think he'll have Spence in trouble at points. Because Spence is not fleet of foot. The only people that Pacquiao really struggles with are people who are fleet of foot. Now, I know you guys are going to say, Horn, I think that was a one-off. I don't think Pac came into that fight completely motivated, completely trained, and Horn pushed him around. So I think Spence will have to summon some of that. He'll have to bully out physical Manny Pacquiao. Because if he fights him from a distance, Pacquiao's still got that athleticism. Pacquiao's still, even at 40, is the more athletic person in the ring. But that's a good fight. It's not the fight I want. Obviously, as a fan, I want Errol Spence to fight Terrence Crawford. Those are the two best fighters in the weight class. That's the best fight that can be made in the entire sport of boxing. I want that fight. It doesn't seem like Errol Spence is real motivated to get that fight done. It seems like he's... Look, and if Spence's goal is to become the undisputed champion at 147, he's got to beat all the champions. Now, that being said, Sean Porter and Keith Thurman aren't going to fight you. Sean Porter said it was the easiest fight to make, and then like Spence said, that all of a sudden Porter's making a unification, taking his mandatory instead of a unification. And a unification always takes precedence. I can't think of a time when a sanctioning body said, no, you can't take a unification fight. You have to take your mandatory. It doesn't happen. Just historically in boxing, since we've had these 3-4 bodies, always the unification comes first. So, I don't... Porter's not going to fight him anytime soon. Keith Thurman just got another injury. Keith Thurman saw how well he boxed and said, I can't outbang this guy, I can't out-physical this guy, and I can't outbox him. Keith Thurman just got another injury. Keith Thurman hurt his vagina, hurt his foot, hurt his wrist, hurt his elbow. Keith Thurman's not coming back in the ring anytime soon. Not after that performance from Errol Spence. And he sure as hell ain't fighting Errol Spence. He won Pacquiao. Obviously, he quit boxing, right? Keith Thurman quit boxing for 2 years to avoid Errol Spence. And Errol Spence has this picturesque performance. Keith Thurman's not fighting him now. No way. He'll probably fake another injury. I would imagine. It's a Keith Thurman thing to do. And Porter's not going to fight him. I think we may get a Thurman-Porter rematch. I'm going to do another episode on that, on where we stand with all of that. But, Errol Spence now, and we're going to wait for the pay-per-view numbers to come in to see how big of a star Errol Spence is. But that was some event. Yeah, I was there. I covered it as media. There were 47,000 fans there. Huge crowd. We'll see what the pay-per-view number comes in. But Errol Spence has a claim to being a star now. He has a claim to being that number 3 star in the sport behind Canelo and Anthony Joshua. But let's see where the pay-per-view number comes in first. And a fight with him and Pacquiao at Cowboy Stadium, which is what they were talking about after the fight, would be huge there. It would be huge. Pacquiao fought there twice. He did 50,000 both times, over 50,000. Spence did almost 50,000 when he fought there. So, this would do big things. And I think it works. I think from a pay-per-view perspective, I think we're looking at close to 1 million pay-per-view buys on a Spence-Pacquiao card. I really do. And then Spence goes from there. If Spence wins that fight, Spence calls his shots. He's the ultimate A-side. So that's what's in line for Errol Spence. And as a Texas native, living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's great to see that. It's great to have potentially one of the biggest stars in the sport, not only from a talent perspective, but from a drawing perspective, as a draw and getting the attention. Spence is becoming the biggest star in the sport. Now, I wanted to touch on that real quick because Errol Spence told us in the post-fight press conference, which you can find on the Facebook page, that he doesn't really like the attention. He's a low-key guy. He doesn't like doing all types of interviews. He doesn't have a fight coming up. He's not in the media, and he has to do that now. If you go to Pacquiao or you go to Mayweather or you go to De La Hoya, the former pay-per-view stars, those guys love the media. They didn't make the stage big enough for those guys. Spence has got to try to find that. He's got to try to make himself out to be a TV personality. Make himself out to be a personality. Get casual. And again, Spence, like Pacquiao too, is the ultimate nice guy. Errol Spence is a great guy. Really, really nice guy. So, we'll see how it goes. But if Spence wants to start doing 1 million plus pay-per-view sales, he's got the B-sides. He's got the dance partners to make himself that. But he's got to get more lively. He's got to do more promos. He's got to do more interviews. He's got to make himself more publicly known. It's just something he's got to do. Let's get to Mikey Garcia real quick. I hated this fight to start with. I thought it was ridiculous that he was jumping up 2 weight classes to fight the biggest, baddest guy in the division. And he got outclassed. He didn't get beaten like I thought he'd get beaten. I thought he'd get broken down due to size, and he got outskilled, and then he got broken down. But we still have him on our pound-for-pound list. You can't take too much away from him because he fought a guy 2 weight classes bigger than him. I guess he goes back down to 35, and this is what they were talking about. He played his cards right. Because if he loses to Lomachenko, he doesn't get the Spence fight. If he loses to Spence, he still gets the Lomachenko fight. Now, I don't know how easy it is going to be for him to get that fight with Lomachenko because we know his relationship with Bob Arum. And I don't really know who else at 35 he fights. Again, do they bring Tank up to 35? But Tank's got to fight somebody in the interim. There's Comey. There's not a ton of names at 35. So, we'll see how it goes. 40's a good option. I'd like to see him fight Hooker. I'd like to see him fight Prograis. I'd like to see him fight, there's a lot of guys at 40. Branchik, Ramirez. Again, that's a top-ranked guy. There's names at 40, which I think are intriguing fights. And I think, Mikey's best weight class is 35, but I think he has plenty of success at 140. I'd love to see Mikey back in Dallas to fight Hooker. Let's do that. it might not be at Cowboy Stadium, but let's do it at American Airlines. Let's do it at the Star in Frisco. There's other venues that we could make this happen. So I don't think Mikey's done. I don't think Mikey was ultimately exposed. I think Errol Spence is better, and that's all there is to it. And Mikey was fighting out of his weight class. So let's get Mikey back down to 135 or 140, and have him go from there. But I would say Regis Prograis or Maurice Hooker is a great fight for him at 140. I think those would be really, really intriguing fights. And the Hooker fight in Dallas would do well. We know that Mikey draws in Texas. So, and he could fight Prograis in Texas, too. Prograis is based, I know Prograis from NOLA, but he trains and fights out of Houston, Texas now with Bobby Bennett. So, you can fight either one of those guys in Texas or in Vegas. And those would be great fights. So, I don't think Mikey's stock plummets or crashes or anything like that. I think there's a lot of good fights left in Mikey. I think we'll see Mikey the next 3-4 years as a pound-for-pound top 10 guy. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts, comments below on the direction of both these fighters. And let me know what you guys thought of the fight. Did you guys like the fight? Did you want to see it again? It was a good event. And tell me what you think about Fox's broadcast team. Because they are terrible. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. For Sunday Morning Champion, from Texas to the world, this is 3D Boxing signing off, saying thank you and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.